Wow, live from New York. It's a show that's back on Cameo doing side quests.
Wow, I wasn't even going to promote it here, but it is true.
He's
inspired me.
moonlighting. Nick
Brew
is
inspired me.
moonlighting. But
Brew,
you
I
always
checked
talk
your
about
price on Cameo. I went $1 higher.
I got to get back on. Giannis told me I accidentally canceled.
Deactivated? You
I
spent
didn't
too
know.
much time on Threads.
Yeah. Well,
Are you on Threads?
Yeah.
Yeah, Threads is weird.
No, Threads is
I
great.
used to be
Is
more
it?
active.
Draymond's dropping takes on Threads. A lot of guys on
Oh, he
Threads.
is? I got to get there.
I'm just telling you. A lot of guys are.
Draymond didn't like my little take yesterday on the
He didn't?
KD and the Sixers.
He didn't? What did he say?
He might have misunderstood. He said, I got to do better.
Oh, wow. What? Draymond was on the World Series of Poker coverage last night.
He was?
Yeah.
Wow,
He's
Draymond's
all
everywhere.
over the
He's all over the
Is he
place.
on
Hey,
Cameo?
Draymond, you working on that J? Shell drills.
Shell drill.
I'm just saying, be
He's
ready.
35
for the
years
season.
old.
He's always ready.
All right.
He's a definition of a guy you like. Boom.
How many games they gonna win next year?
Well, not that many.
41. 42. I mean,
Wow.
We're starting in Buffalo. Josh Allen's got a new coach, new stadium, new wide receiver. Will his playoff results change? Well, eventually, according to him. Okay, shout out to Kevin Clark. Lost in the divisional round or conference championship game, longest streaks this century. Glass half full. Wow. Nice consistency. Glass half empty. You haven't gotten it done.
And, two of those teams, ultimately made the Super Bowl. One of them, obviously, that Phillip Rivers Chargers never did. The Ravens with Flacco, they then made it and won it. The Eagles with McNabb made it and lost.
So do you agree with Josh's mentality?
I think this is the exact right mentality. I also agree not only with the mentality, with this belief or the sentiment. Like I've said that I believe eventually Josh is going to get a Super Bowl. And obviously I believe that'll happen in Buffalo. I don't think he's going to have to leave Buffalo to get one. And you can, the problem with the divisional round losses, even whether it's the 13-second game where Josh played great or last year's divisional round loss where he had the 4 turnovers, it's hard to full-on make the case, man, if we had just made one more play, we would have won the Super Bowl because they're in the divisional round.
Sure.
Like you can certainly, there has been in 4 of their last 5 playoff losses, you could say they could have won that game by making one more play. The only one that was bad was the Bengals game in Buffalo, blew them out. But only one of those would have even gotten them to the Super Bowl. So how close are they as far as on the individual seasons? But you feel like if you're just in the mix, at some point you'll break through I don't know if this is working for or against Josh. Historically, we would have thought he already would have. So most playoff wins by a quarterback without winning or without getting to a Super Bowl, he has the most by a lot. No other quarterback has 6 playoff wins without having started a Super Bowl. He's got 8. And then you go to most playoff wins without winning a Super Bowl. McNabb and Kelly have more. McNabb went to 1. Kelly went to 4 in a row. Marino went to 1 instantly.
The fact that Josh is on this list is crazy.
It's crazy.
Well, you also, though, there's more opportunities to win playoff games nowadays.
That's
you have to say that. 7 teams making it now.
Correct.
In each
And
conference.
fewer buys, and so
so
that part's all true. But it does speak to the, depending on how you want to look at it. Man, they are due to break through, or man, oh man, everyone who has been this due to break through previously they had already gotten through at this point. They'd at least been to a Super Bowl. And so I agree with the mentality. I don't think it's a sure thing, but I would bet on him being correct. They will eventually get there.
Well, look, and I said this, I think yesterday or the day before, and it can't be emphasized enough. He blew it last year. At least a chance to get there. Because Drake may, again, great year, but second year in the league. Bo Nix and who CJ Stroud, struggling C.J. Stroud.
The only great quarterback he was going to have to get through was Trevor, and he beat him.
Yeah, I mean, you had
Yeah, he did. He got
that
him in
was
the
the
first
that
round.
was the great opportunity.
I don't know if that was such a great opportunity.
Last year,
Oh, you just think just not
compared
having
to
the
what
Chiefs
he's
in
had,
was a great
he didn't have
You've got to think
go
that.
through Joe Burrow. He didn't have to go whatever you think of Lamar in the playoffs. In Lamar and Mahomes.
Just the Chiefs
Just
not
Mahomes
being
The
there.
being
Chiefs,
gone.
okay, if it was just the Chiefs, but he has no record of success against the Texans defense. That's what
I'm just saying the
He's
other
not, good, I get to play the Texans
the
defense.
other
He would have lost that
quarterback
game.
being C.J. Stroud, struggling as he is.
But
at
had
this
they
point in his
beaten
career.
Denver, he wouldn't have played the Texans defense. He'd have played you guys who you split with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A team he
That-
certainly
sure.
could have beaten.
It's never going to be easy in the
Yes,
playoffs.
yeah.
I'm just saying, compared to what he's had, we've always said, okay, he hadn't gotten past Mahomes. Everybody hasn't done
Sure,
it.
taking
So,
the Mahomes, yeah. I'll buy that. If you take Mahomes, I just didn't think it was a cakewalk.
It wasn't
No,
a cakewalk,
no,
but
it
it
wasn't
was
a cakewalk.
But having the Patriots, the young Patriots, who they split with in the regular season,
Easier
two
than
close
Mahomes.
games,
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
better than having the Chiefs waiting for
Sure.
you
Right.
historically.
Right. So that can't be stated enough. But I agree that I like the sentiment of let's just put ourselves in position again by having great regular seasons and getting in the playoffs, and then we'll break through. However, that is not necessarily true. All right, and no one knows that. No fan base knows that more than Buffalo.
Exactly.
4 straight Super Bowls with Jim Kelly, never got through.
but the
Fran
fifth one they
Tarkenton
would've
in
won.
Minnesota, they got to some never break. Like it happens. Now, I hope Josh wins it. I would think he will. But maybe, look, John Elway, Hall of Fame career, MVP, great, career, didn't win his Super Bowls until the last 2 years of a 16-year career. So maybe you got Josh who needs one, Lamar who needs one. You've got great young quarterbacks
Burrow
coming up.
needs one.
Burrow,
Yeah.
obviously Mahomes is still in his prime. So, I mean, it's not promised. Now, I think Buffalo is really good. I think Joe Brady's going to be great with that offense. I think Jim Leonard, from what I'm reading about what he's done and what he's doing,
it.
it looks
He's
like
great.
the defense is going to be really good. So I think Buffalo's going to be great this year and right there in the mix. But I'm just saying, it is not promised
And
that if
even-
we keep knocking on the door, it's going to come open.
Predictions week, August 31st.
yes.
Early prediction,
Oh,
outside of predictions week.
okay.
In mid-October or before, I think we will have a question that leads this show. Is it time to panic about Buffalo?
Is their early schedule?
Here's their schedule. Week 1, they
That's
are
a very tough
in
first 5
Houston.
weeks.
A friendly reminder, their last 2 games, Josh, against the Texans,
Really a
which I was
first
kind of
tough 7 games.
get
Sorry,
at.
Go ahead.
He had 8 sacks. They lost 70 yards. He threw 2 interceptions, was totally overwhelmed against Davis Mills that game. It was a Thursday night game, played horrible. The previous year, that's when he completed 9
9 of 30.
passes
Yeah.
for 131 yards. They lost. The Texans defense has his number, and the offense should be better. Then it's a short week. We'll be at Nick's house for the viewing party.
Oh, yeah.
Of the Lions. The Lions. Is
That's the open of their new stadium?
Yes. Weird, right? Short week, new stadium. The Lions reminds me a little bit of like when the Lions we had to go to Kansas City.
Yeah.
They won that game. Lions last week, week 2, kind of a funky stat, but again, not nothing. Lions facing Ben Johnson this was in Chicago? Yes. No, this was at home. They won that game 52-20 something. Then it's the Chargers, always hot early in the year. Then it's the Patriots at home. Again,
That is tough.
we
They're not
beat
hot.
They
the
got
Patriots.
one light
I'm sorry,
game
We
in
beat
their
the Bills
first 9
in
weeks.
Buffalo last year. The year before that, in Buffalo, we were up 21-0, and kind of the wheels came off. But Drake May is 1-1 in Buffalo. Then the Rams, then the Raiders, and a bye.
And then after the bye is the Ravens.
Yeah,
No, that is a brutal
they got it
first.
tough,
I didn't.
yeah.
I know I had seen it, but I had
That's
not
tough,
remembered
yeah.
that where they're at.
So worst case scenario,
No, worst case scenario is, I
Yeah,
guess,
worse is one win.
one
You
and
beat the
1
Raiders.
and 4 to start, and then
Yeah.
beat the Raiders. Worst case scenario is 2 and 4 going into the bye.
it's
Like I just don't.
and then like coming out of the bye, like, oh, good, we've
Right.
got
2
Lamar.
and 4, you think it's worse? I
Yeah,
agree.
You know what I mean?
think
They're a really good team. They're not going to lose 5 straight games to start the year.
Just real.
But
Sean McDermott's teams were really good.
they never lost 5 straight games to start the year. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying they're not starting.
No, I'm saying
they're
I don't
gonna
know what
beat
this
you
team
in
is.
that game.
Oh, okay.
KG.
I see what you mean. Can I?
They're gonna beat you in that game because they could be 1-2.
I mean,
I don't know about
but they
0-3
also
going
listen.
I don't like
into
it.
that,
The flip side of
know.
that
It's a tough
is
schedule.
they could be 4-1 going into the Raiders game and be 5-1 in the bye and be the Super Bowl
Best
favorite.
team in
Can
the
I
league
give
right
a cross sport comp for player quickly, bro?
Yeah.
Because Josh's career is already an outlier. He's an MVP. I know other people do. I don't feel he's ever been the best player in the league, but I think in different eras, maybe he might have had a moment where he was. The unique physical presence who plays the position kind of unlike anybody because of size reasons for different things. If I'm a Bills fan, my concern is that at the end of the career, the comp is Charles Barkley.
Wow.
Where it's like Barkley was excellent in the playoffs. Barkley didn't drop off in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Barkley, it's like he was up against Jordan, right? Versus up against Mahomes. Like that is you can't.
The thing about what people
Karl Malone dropped off in the playoffs. Ewing was a great player, but not that level. That again, and I think Josh will get one, but that would be my concern. That it's like, man, got close. A number of times. Barkley did make one finals, but only one. And Josh could make a Super Bowl and lose it. You know what I mean?
MVP.
MVP, and it's just that would be the worry.
Here's my worry. A bigger concern is Cam Newton. Now I know he's better than Cam,
But the shorter prime.
yeah, the way he runs is similar to Cam. He's running over defenders. He's taking a lot of hits. And does that shorten his prime?
Yeah, we say kind of silly things when we talk about Josh. We're like, he's indestructible. Like he'll never get hurt. I mean, he has the Iron Man streak.
Yeah.
He hasn't played 10 years. Cam had what, 10 years?
Yeah, a little less. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of ways his career ends without a Super Bowl. It's not what I think is going to happen, but there's a lot of ways where it does. And one of them is, like you said,
Does he just fall off because of the wear and tear?
Head to Baltimore. Lamar going under center under a new OC, Declan Doyle. Now, it's a change of pace for the Ravens offense, which featured mostly pistol and shotgun formations. But it's not totally new to Lamar. It's how he played, checking notes, as a child. Bro. You're in a tough spot. You're in a tough spot.
Well, no, look, as you might imagine, he was a monster in youth football. Under center, no problem. CYO, Pop Warner, whatever he played, Muni. No, look, we showed it. Can we see those highlights again? I know 80% of the time he's in shotgun or the pistol.
Yeah.
But he has been under center, and you see he's completing passes.
That's an interception.
Well, hold on. What? Show the good ones. There's plenty of good ones. There's plenty of touchdowns and first downs. Are these all
No,
picks?
that was a good one.
Okay.
That was a good one. The first one was just an interception. They set you up bad there, bro. That was wrong.
I'm going to be honest. Look.
Go ahead.
I love this. This
really?
is no mystery. Yeah, I love it because, like I said, he has had some familiarity in the NFL with being under center, but it just opens everything up. The play action. I thought, Nick, when they got Derrick Henry, I thought he'd be under center more.
I did too.
Because one, obviously play action. Two, it's easier for the tailback to run when your center, quarterback's under center rather than in shotgun. And this is going to make them less predictable. When last year they were predictable, last couple years. If Henry's out there, okay, they're running the football. If he's not, they're probably passing or whatever. Yep. So Lamar, everything they've thrown at him, they didn't think he'd ever be I actually was wondering, would he ever be a good passer early in his career? And he became a great one, I believe. And everything you've asked him to do, he's proven he can do. He was in those meetings with the coaches for the interviews. I'm sure Declan Doyle was like, look, I want to have Lamar under center a lot more. I think that opens up all types of possibilities. So Lamar was clearly on board with that. Yeah. So I really like this. I think I think it's just going to make them so much more dangerous with him under center.
I've got one take, and then I have an announcement to make about the future of this show.
Okay.
Declan Doyle's from Ben Johnson's
Yes.
coaching tree. We saw this kind of pop up with Caleb. Ben Johnson wanted to put Caleb under center, so we did see Caleb, add another element to his game and become a better player. And that, unfortunately, is going to be the final take I've had on this show. I'm leaving. I got an opportunity to invest in a beverage business.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it, and I'm very well versed in running beverages businesses. I had a lemonade stand as a child, so they got me as the CEO now. They said, "Wow, as a child you're running a lemonade stand." You could.
So can I? Here's
That last part wasn't true. It was
all right.
iced tea.
So
will be here
here is
tomorrow.
would be my concern, Brew, and this will be Kevin Wild's favorite part of the show.
Really? More than
We're
my
on the
lemonade
air, I
stand
do
thing?
math.
Oh, we love this.
This is a ratings bonanza. So there are just a lot, even if they're high likelihood positive, variables in play for the Ravens this year. So I just want to go through them quickly, and then I'll do the math.
Where's the math coming?
I'm about to
Oh, you're
explain.
teasing us
Yeah.
with it.
I think we'll
So Lamar's health. Let's you know what? Let's say that's
there. That's always there.
let's have all the confidence. Let's give him 90% likelihood he plays the whole season.
Okay.
Let's give him 90%.
Yeah.
Jesse Minter, new coach, but I really like Jesse Minter. So instead of like the 50-50 proposition of a new coach, let's give Jesse Minter 80% likelihood that he works.
Because most new coaches aren't taking
Correct.
over.
And I also thought Jesse Minter had a good resume, if you will. It didn't feel like
And
out of nowhere.
familiar with the organization.
Familiarity. So let's see. Lamar 90% likelihood stay healthy. Jesse Minter 80% that they hit on the head coach. This under center thing is a little concerning, but let's also give that an 80% likelihood that it doesn't hurt Lamar. Declan Doyle, I'm going to call it 75% likelihood that he is a good OC. So those are all, that's a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 3 out of 4.
Yeah, great.
The odds of, the math on that of all of those things being yes, 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 it's like 41%.
Well,
And I know that's where I said I know you don't, but you are asking for a lot of things that probably will work to all work. And this is now another variable we're throwing in there, which is adding the under center plays, which he didn't run a ton of at Louisville when he won the Heisman. That was a pro-style offense. Right. That was one of the unfair knocks on Lamar. Bobby Petrino was running a pro-style offense, but it was pro-style the way he's running now. A lot of shotgun and pistol. It's a young OC. That's at least something of a variable. Those things, that's my concern for Baltimore, because I don't believe, and we haven't talked much about this since the Trey Hendrickson and Max Crosby, weeks. Yep. I don't know that they're going to have a great defense to fall back on. I think they could have.
You don't think it'll be better than last year?
I think it's got it. I think no. But there's a big delta between better than last year and great. You know what I mean? I think it can be good. And so I think the offense, if the Ravens are going to be the team you want them to be, I think it's going to be because they have a good defense and a great offense. And there's just a lot of unknowns going into the offense that would concern me. Was that an okay?
So where are you at on there? I know you're
He's
joking
doing a
about
lemonade stand.
and iced tea and all that.
Yeah.
I think it is a funny quote, but we just saw it with Caleb, and it worked.
Well,
and we had the
he's
same thing USC. He was
way ahead of Caleb, where Caleb was at this point.
Yes.
So I assume the only odd thing is.
Can I push back on that real quick?
Go ahead.
Yes, he's way ahead of Caleb. It also means he has more muscle memory of doing it one way.
That's what I.
You know what I mean? Caleb had 1 year in the pros playing a certain way. Ben Johnson.
Caleb's problems at that point were just the
processing, all of
processing
that.
at the line.
They have had. There's a little bit of if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, he's been the number one passer, number one offense more than 1 year, 2-time MVP. Like, hey, we're going to switch it up. Part of me wonders if it's a little Brady to the Bucks-ish. Like, hey,
well, look, they can switch it if it's not working. They might switch it. They will if it's not working.
Finally, late-breaking news today. Stefon Diggs headed to the Commanders, teaming up with Jaden Daniels. Last year, 85 catches, over 1,000 yards, only 4 touchdowns, but they were memorable. solid leadership, and he brought Cardi B to Foxborough several times.
Yeah, is he going to be bringing her to the
You know what?
Stadium?
It is a bit of a
How's that
rocky
love story?
relationship.
How's that love
Are they
story
still
going?
together? Yeah.
I'm not sure every once in a while.
They got a lot of stuff going on in
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
Do you like this for the Commanders?
Sure. I think it's fine for the Commanders. Listen, I think Diggs is the best healthy receiver on the market, and I think he's better than Keenan Allen.
Yes.
And
certainly
Tyreek's
healthy.
not healthy, and Brandon Ayuk, God bless him, I think is not going to play in the NFL anymore. And so I think if they felt they needed a wide receiver, maybe they were hoping over the last few months that Ayuk would get his mentals together. That sounded bad, but it seems whatever's going on with him, that he would get it together. And so they had a spot open, so that makes sense. I was actually going to turn this question a bit on. Should you or I be more disappointed by this?
Oh.
Great question. Great
Because I thought you were kind of hoping he might go back to the Patriots.
Yes, I don't know. I'm happy he got. I don't think we have $12 million there, and we have a crowded wide receiver room. So I'm happy. It always felt like, hey, go get your money somewhere else. You just had
And I'm curious how much of this is real. Like, I'm curious how much of this is it $8 million guaranteed with $4 million in incentives? I don't know.
Last year was his prove-it year. Coming off of an ACL, he was available to the whole league. Patriots signed him. We'll see what he does. He had 1,000 yards. He had good leadership. Any sort of like off-the-field stuff was. I get a bit of a mixed bag, yes, but didn't impact. Went to the Super Bowl. Had a monstrous game in Week 4 against the Bills when he was ahead of schedule for his ACL. I think that he's in a little bit of his Lil Wayne guest appearance era of his career. Like, are you doing okay? How about I hop on your team? And now, C.J. Stroud, you get a little pop. Josh Allen, you get a pop. Drake May, you get a pop. Jaden Daniels, you get a pop. So I think Jaden Daniels needed this, and I think between the leadership, the productivity, he just straight up catches the ball. It's great. The Chiefs need somebody who can.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Chiefs should be more disappointed.
It speaks right or wrong that the Chiefs feel like we're going to ride with this group that we plan to ride with. It makes me very nervous. I also just want to be on the record because I'm sure he's watching. Lil Wayne, until he's 100 years old, will be in the Justin Jefferson phase of his career.
But he does a lot of like he'll pop on a song for you.
Right, yeah.
And make your song hot.
But Brew, go ahead. Sorry.
No, look, I think that he'd be really good with the Chiefs. Not all pro or anything, but I think he'd be just what they need. I think this is great for the Commanders because you said it. C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen.
Yeah. Drake
May. Like, he's helped all of those guys become better quarterbacks. I think he's been humbled that hardly anybody wanted him this season. And so he's been on his best behavior in the locker room the last few years.
Yep.
Off the field, whatever, but it hadn't affected the team. I think this is good. And he's not their number one. They got McLaurin. He'll be the number 2 guy. I think this is a good move for the Commanders.
I think that at this point of his career, he plays stylistically last year exactly the way Rashee Rice plays. Like no long air yards catches.
Not the yak.
No yak.
But I understand. But my point is, catches the ball near the line of scrimmage or near the first down line, and so Kansas City clearly feels like that spot is filled. That is a risky guy to rely on.
Welcome back to the show. Shedeur Sanders.
Oh boy.
Ranked 35th out of 35 QBs in Mike Sando's survey of executives and coaches. Are people sleeping on him? Well, one defensive coordinator says yes. Not a compliment. I'd sleep like a baby if I got to play him every week. Brew, your reaction?
Well, look, this is the NFL.
Yeah.
No coddling. No babying. I'm not worried about your feelings. In fact, I'm trying to hurt your feelings.
Oh, my
If you're an opponent, I'm trying to get in your head, make you doubt yourself, and hurt your feelings. So this is what you signed up for. That's real.
I honestly didn't know that hurting the opponent's feelings were part of it.
Oh, yeah. I want you questioning, am I built for this?
Yeah, my goodness.
Can I do this? That's what I mean. I'm just keeping it real. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So that's fair based on what we saw last year with Shedeur. the 35th ranking of the 35 quarterbacks, you got to say it was fair. I mean, you could argue if you want J.J. McCarthy, their numbers, Shedeur's were slightly worse than J.J. McCarthy.
Certainly argue him ahead of his teammate.
Well, Deshaun at this, because Deshaun was what, 31st?
Yeah.
So it looks.
We're tough.
We have stats.
We're in the 30s,
I know
basically.
these stats are shaky, but they are true.
What are
we
these?
have stats from.
I have him.
the
I have his
practice.
stats from. Sorry.
These are the practices so far. 6 practices.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he's gonna be the starter.
he's killing Deshaun.
Yeah.
Which is surprising to me, but he is. And look, this is what's best for the Browns. I agree that for them to have a competition and let the best man win, because Nick, I don't think Todd Monken can go in there. And if Deshaun Watson was clearly the best quarterback, you can't have credibility in that locker room and give it to Shedeur. But if Shedeur is actually outplaying him, the best case scenario for the Browns, Shedeur's clearly the better quarterback in training camp. The whole locker room believes it. He starts week 1, and Shedeur is up to him to make the best of it.
Yes.
This is, it's just, that's just all it is to it. So far, this is working out for the Browns, and we'll see what Shedeur can do.
And the fact of the matter is, he just has to take the type of leap that I think will take multiple years, and he has to do it in one off season. If he is going to be able to do what his personal goal probably is, which is not only win the job, but play well enough for them to not draft a quarterback next year. And because they have multiple picks, they've been priming.
They could even be able to trade.
Right, trade up. There's a lot of things they can do. When these were, we say he's 35th out of 35 in the poll. Here's his rankings with actual stats last year. I mean, he was 35th in completion percentage, which sometimes matters. He was dead last in touchdown to turnover. He was 36th in passer rating. He was tied for 31st in how often he is sacked.
Can I ask you this? I saw Joe Flacco get released by the Browns because he was so ineffective, pop over to the Bengals and throw for 750 yards in one game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now they have Todd Monken's brand new. Todd Monken's had the number 1 offense several times.
But it's 2 rookie wide receivers. It is a totally new offensive line. I think with if they got, who's the 18th best quarterback in the league?
Jalen Hurts theoretically according to this list.
He was 16th, Brew, and he's
17th.
In the player poll, it's actually Bryce. Whatever.
Okay.
I think it's a bottom 5 offense. And so I don't know. So here is the thing. I listed, here are the quarterbacks, Brew. I could only come up with 8 guys that are starters that maybe I could see Shedeur having a better year than. And I'm not saying all of them, but this is the full, I'm not saying you have a better year than all of these guys. But these are Malik Willis, Geno Smith, rookie Fernando Mendoza, Jackson Dart, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyler Shuck, Jacoby Brissett. And that is being very generous.
Way too generous.
Tua's very, as we know, Tua's not great.
Tua, Kyler,
but if
Shuck,
Kevin O'Connell's like, what?
No,
Yeah,
and
he's
Kyler as well. Right. And so if we're going to take out Dart, Kyler, Tua, and Shuck, it's Jacoby, the number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, just because he's a rookie. Geno, who's probably, potentially this is the last stop, and Malik Willis, who is one of the only guys in the league in probably a worse weapons and personnel situation than Shedeur.
But a sturdier spot.
I just don't. I don't see how he is. I have my own questions about him as the player because of his arm strength and athleticism, which I think are below NFL average. And then you add the lack of weapons, the Cleveland dysfunction component, which just hits all their guys. I just don't know how he can have a successful year.
But look, you guys know I liked him coming out of college. And what I like is, like last year, let's just be honest about it. He didn't get a real shot. He did get to play enough games,
once the
7
season
games.
started,
But they didn't believe in him. It seems like Stefanski clearly had no use for him and threw him in there because there was public pressure and all that.
Pick.
Right. And so at least this year, he's got a full training camp, Monken is giving him a legitimate shot, and at least on the surface, I'm sure he's making Shedeur feel like he believes in him. So
remember that
this
initial
is a real shot.
Initial meeting when Monken came in?
And Shedeur keeps giving him
He said
gifts.
we were going to draft you. And
Remember he bought it. Shedeur bought him something funny that he was like, I saw it and thought of you. Yeah, but
that's nice.
No, I think they have a good
He's getting a
relationship.
real shot.
Yes.
And so let's see
So
what
that
he
is
does
the
with
thing.
it.
He
He's getting
will.
a real
It
shot.
will. And even if the Browns end up with the second overall pick and draft a quarterback, he will, at the end of this year, he should have 20-some games of film to see if, there's interest around the league elsewhere, a more stable situation, or whatever it is. Like
he's got to show he's an NFL quarterback.
Correct.
Like
That's
if
right.
he does that, then
he'll
even
be
if they're
fine.
looking at him as, okay, he's a backup, that'll be good for him now.
Yeah.
NFL Top 100. We're counting down this list. George Pickens coming in at number 36. CD was ranked 55 earlier. Dak yet to be listed, but has already coined the phrase, Gotti, the greatest offense there is. Like John Gotti.
Well, I don't know
the
if
famous
it's like
Godfather.
John Gotti.
Yeah,
he
of
wasn't
course.
the Godfather.
What was
a
he
mobster.
exactly? He
was a
wasn't the
mobster.
Godfather?
No.
He was not the guy.
No.
I thought he
a
was. I
mobster.
thought he was the head of a
I mean, he
crime
was the head of a
family.
crime family, but I don't know if
You don't automatically get to become the Godfather.
Why are you
if
asking
that's
me
the
like
case.
I'm an expert?
because you interrupted the read.
Sorry, go ahead.
To clarify something.
It's definitely John Gotti.
Yeah.
It's based off that. You
Yes.
know that.
Are you buying the
Price
Cowboys
bet not.
having the number one offense?
Absolutely. This is what they do when Dak's healthy.
That's true.
2 of the last 3 times he's played a full season, which is 3 times in last 5 years, they've been number 1. They were number 1 in 2021, number 1 in 2023, and the second receiver those years to CeeDee Lamb was Brandon Cooks and Amari Cooper in 21. Okay, that's legit.
Yeah.
But Amari, if George Pickens is solid as far as
Amari
being
at that point of his
professional-
career is not as good as Pickens
right.
is now.
So, and then they had Tony Pollard, who's very good, but an older Zeke.
Yeah.
So you can put
no
Williams.
Javonte Williams.
Now, Williams, I like Williams.
Yeah.
I know that. And so do the Cowboys. So they got 2 great receivers. Dak, if he stays healthy, they can definitely. I mean, I don't think anybody cannot deny that they could definitely be the best offense in football.
But so I agree with you, Brew, that it can be. And I just want to take it a step further. If you can be the number 1 offense, as long as you do not have a catastrophically bad defense, that means you can make the Super Bowl. And I know, like, the Cowboys to the Super Bowl is almost over-discussed in sports. Not almost. It is over-discussed in sports television as a whole. I think we talk about the Cowboys a lot, like all the shows do. I don't think we talk about, is this their year as much as maybe others. But I do think if this might be an offseason where it's relevant, where it's more of a worthwhile conversation in the past, because I do think you saw some of that defensive improvement once they got Quinnen Williams. All their draft capital went to defense. You guys know how much I personally, we'll see what he turns into, loved Caleb Downs. I said last year during the college football regular season, I thought he was the best player in the country. He was a guy I thought the Chiefs, could end up potentially taking well before the Cowboys.
New DC, a
right.
hot DC.
And so the other investment they made on that side of the ball, I thought they were going to get rid of Kenny Clark when they brought in Quinnen Williams. They didn't. Like, I thought the cap was going to make it to where they had to. They have a lot of they have put the investment on defense to be 14. And
wouldn't you be surprised
That's
if they're
plenty.
not at least middle of the pack?
Yes, and if that's
great. That's a good combo.
If they can be the number 1 or number 2 offense with the number 14 defense, that is absolutely good enough to be if not A1 contender, a true contender, which I think is a legit. I know Brew's kind of flirting with that and likes him the most in the NFC East. If you believe in Dak, Pickens, and CD, I think it's has a potential to be the best team Dak's been on since his rookie year.
Bonus
when they won
video.
13 games. Bonus video?
Bonus video. Brew, you're old school.
Yeah.
You like old school training techniques. And you're also, since
Hardcore.
Greg is not here, the only current wide receiver at the desk.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the
this
newest
is great.
training technique
This is
that
dangerous.
that CeeDee Lamb is utilizing.
This is from the Jugs Machine Brew
It's a beekeeper's net.
to obstruct his
He
vision.
can see, but so how much can he see?
A little.
And then George Pickens tried it and was not a fan.
Oh, really?
But CD
So
was
Pickens
just,
had-
yes,
yeah,
Pickens did not
okay,
like
so
it.
that's how
He's like, you
hard
know
it
what,
is.
this beekeeper's suit is not for me.
You know what? I love it. CD, one way to improve it, because I'm impressed by him catching like that. Take off the gloves.
No.
I'm serious. If I were a receiver in the NFL, I would practice without gloves.
Yep.
Then maybe 2 days a week I'd wear the gloves to
Yep.
get used to them. But practice catching without the gloves.
And
And
then-
then once you put the gloves on, I mean, that's like glue.
Yeah.
It's glue on there. I wish they had gloves like that when I was
Is this like
playing.
the football version of like guys warming up with the super heavy bat?
That's impressive.
I mean,
So like
I
that
guess
way when you're swinging your regular bat, it
the
feels
gloves
lighter?
part or the beekeeper's net.
No, the gloves part he's talking about. I'm saying Brew is saying
The gloves
if you
are-
catch
those
without the
gloves are great.
and then
Well, there's also gloves
Yeah,
in
if you can
baseball.
catch you.
Batting gloves.
Yeah, but not like.
yeah,
Hold on to the bat. Just, you know what? Pine tar.
it's-
okay.
That's impressive though. Now that I
Yeah.
have never
If-
had a beekeeper's hat on.
You haven't?